Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday afternoon. How is everybody? I hope I have a few people come by today. I know it's summer. Oh my goodness. Everybody has so much to do in the summer, don't they? Vacation, all that. My life is just like the same, right? We are doing nothing right now. No trips, sticking around the house, not eating too much. I'm cooking a little, but not feeling like eating much heavy food like bacon and stuff like that, like I do in the winter. Anyway, I have been working on fiber and working on fiber and working on fiber. I I thought that it's about time to do something different, on a stream, and I'm in the flow and I don't want to stop. So I have a little bit of a teaching thing to go through this right now before I get started, but mostly I'm going to be trying a different fiber on the combs, the combing system, and I'm going to be finishing up the pink. I have a whole bunch of the pink done. It's back here, right? It's in this box. Look at that. A whole huge box of top. Isn't that gorgeous? That's just the one thing I don't like about this setup. It's really hard to show you big stuff like, whatever. My camera is real right here and it's hard to get everything in it. Right. There we go. Look how big that box is. That was half full when I stopped at the end of the other stream. I combed yesterday, so I filled it all up, and I really only have. I have quite a bit yet to go, but I'm going to put it in that box, so I'm going to put it on top of it. But before I do that, I have a different fiber that one of the things I have to do is before I process the fiber is what I call picking, which is, bringing the opening up the locks and the clumps and all that. And the fiber I've been working on is it's been glorious. It's just been like, I love this fiber. And I wanted to talk a little bit about why I love it so much compared to the one that I picked before it, which I hated. Okay, I hated picking. So that's what we're going to do. Let me change my camera here so that you can see these two fibers. And let me do that. Okay, now color on this is really, really accurate. It's a deep raspberry color. Okay, the color on this is called Antique Mauve, and the fiber looks gray. It really does look gray with purple over it. What happened was when I dyed this fiber, the dye broke, and so part of it that was the purple hit and hit hard right away, and part of it was that it was a mixture of two colors, and I don't know what the second color was. It might have been a blue, although it doesn't look blue. But the whole point is that the two dyes that it was mixed together with, I didn't do the mixing. It came that way. It's called Antique Mauve, and I think it's on purpose, right? I think there might be a gray or pewter color mixed in with the purple, and they hit at different times. And so I have locks that are, some of them are very purple, and that you can't see that very well. They're very purple. And I have locks that are mostly light gray, right? Which shows better, but it's got more purple in it than that. That just looks gray. Okay, so the camera can't catch this nuance of this fiber very well, except that being called antique gray, antique mauve, is very true, right? It is that gray that gives it that antique quality. If you see back here, This is the fiber after I have opened up the locks and fluffed it. And it's the fiber I've been working with today and yesterday, and it's just wonderful to work with. And this is the fiber that's the problem child. And this here is not picked yet. Okay, so I know what this fiber is. It's a Corridel. It feels super soft. It almost feels like merino. I mean, it's extremely soft. It has very indistinct locks. It has locks that are such a problem, right? Little itty bitty locks, and that you can't see that very well because of the, there you go. And it has locks that are like this, on and on and on and on and on. And that's multiple locks put together, right? It's got short stuff, and the whole point is it don't want to pick. You can pull on it all you want. The process that was dyeing for the dyeing or whatever, the rinsing, whatever, since I had that fiber washed and I put it in the dye pot and it dried and I started working with it. Somewhere in that process, it's not exactly felted. It's almost, but it's twisted. It's twisted, almost like there's a little bit of somebody spun this already, although that's not true. And because of that, it's really, really not nice to work with. You just, little its and bits of trying to pick that apart doesn't work. Oh, I'm not in the camera. Trying to pick that apart just doesn't work well. Now, this is the dark color of what I have been combing. That actually picked a little bit better, and this I picked as the worst example, right? So that you could see that what I actually am combing, this is the lighter, I was able to pick. Now, it's still got some of the problems, but it's okay. So the dark color, this is just part of it. I don't know how much I'm going to get of it to actually work, but here is what I wanted to show you. So this is the one that I've been working with the past 2 days. It is an unknown breed. Sadly, once in a while, I buy, and it's distinctly marked unknown breed, but it was marked as a ewe lamb. And for that reason, I bought it. That, and it had just these really nice, I almost thought I was going to spin it by the lock, but it's got these really nice, intact, fairly long locks. It also has what I call a really wonderful crimp. And I'll hold this one right there so you can kind of see the crimp. Almost looks like somebody put one of those wave irons on it, right? Those crimper irons for your hair. It has what I call very open crimp, and the locks are blocky. And both of those are exactly opposite of this Corridel. So I'm guessing that it might have been, it's going to be probably a meat sheep. And I'm guessing it was like maybe a Romney, but maybe Dorset or Cheviot or Suffolk's, not Cheviot, Suffolk's could have been Cheviot. I'm guessing it's one of those meat breeds, right? Is where it came from. Turns out it's a glorious fleece. It's beautiful, 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 right? And I'm super happy with it. And I'm thinking that I am going to drum card it, and I'll talk about that here in a minute. So I'm going to I'm putting that one away. I'm going to show you how this picks open. So lovely. This is what I sit on my porch and do. It just eases apart. Am I in the camera? Yeah. Just comes right apart. There's a little bit of vegetable matter. It's falling onto the which is why I have the tablecloth over the combing system right now. And that's ready to process to spin. So I have decided that it's open enough. There's not many neps. There's hardly any neps in it. Um, it's about the right. What am I trying to say? My drum carder has fine teeth, right? So I can't go with super coarse fiber on there. It just gets kind of wrapped around on the teeth. It has the right diameter for my drum carder. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to be making bats out of this. Even though I am going to go ahead and comb a couple just for the fun of it today. Now, every once in a while I do get something that I throw away. There was a lot less waste with this than with that Corriedale. Kay, hello, I see you. I was finishing my thought there. How are you today? This is like eating potato chips. You know, it's so relaxing. It's kind of like the process is prepping it for something wonderful. You know you're going to make it really spinnable once you get this done. Anyway, you get the idea how nice and easy it is. You're baking. Ooh, yum. Look at that lovely lock. And it's purple on one end and the purple gray on the other. I should save that lock because that's really nice and classic of the dye job. I like that. I have a great big paper grocery sack full of this, and I have a great big store shopping plastic bag full. There is a lot of this fiber. And this is it. Once I'm done with this, I am done with all the picking. I just wanted to save a little bit to show on the stream. So I'll be really anxious to see how this spins up. If I drum card it, I'm going to probably do a semi woolen, not make it completely woolen. I don't want that thick of yarn. I hope to get like a true DK weight is what I hope to get out of it. I have been doing all this prepping because I have, of course, joined Stash Dash. Prepping doesn't have anything to do with counting up yardage. I am getting things ready so that when Tour de Fleece hits in July, I'll have a whole bunch already prepped and ready to go. That's why I'm not spinning quite as much right now, as well as wanting to show do a couple streams with the combs to show them, and then I'm going to get going and spinning for both Stash Dash and Tour de Fleece. So I've been drum carding a walnut dyed, I think it's Corriedale, if I remember right. I have to double check that. I have paperwork with it, but I can't. I think it's Corriedale. And right now I have 9 bats. My bats are about 3/4 to almost an ounce, depending on how much I put on there. And I've got it. I've been doing 3 a day. Looks like I have enough fiber to be carded into 3 more bats. So it looks like I should get a dozen, 12 ounces approximately. This doesn't sound like a lot. It isn't a lot, but you know, it goes a fair ways when you, especially if you don't do woolen. You can get pretty good yardage out of it. And I'm not necessarily trying to make a sweater or anything big out of it. I think it'll get combined with something else, to be honest with you. Because I seem to remember having carded other bats that were dyed with walnut dye. It'd be nice to put those in a project together. I've already spun the yarn. I got to find the yarn. The yarn is spun. In fact, I think I spun that last Tour de Fleece. All right, this is it. Hate to see it when something is so wonderful to do. I hate seeing it end. We'll see how it comes. That's going to be next. We'll find out. Maybe it's going to make luscious top and I'm going to end up having to comb it instead of carding. Carding's quicker. All right. It's coming out of my bag. I have so much in there. But that's the last of it. All right, we'll put that over here. I've got crumbs on here, so I'm going to carefully fold this up and shake it outside after stream. I still am not, I need a little brush. Like, I am still not used to sitting this direction. This cedar smells so good. All right. So let's see, I'm going to use the same setup, medium and large, coarse, medium and coarse, for this trial. This ewe lamb needs a Mary. Should I call it Mary? No. This ewe lamb fiber needs a name. You know, a lot of times the fibers that I buy come from an animal and they give me the animal name, right? But just ewe lamb. Hey, ewe lamb, huh? I guess I'll call the yarn Hey Ewe Lamb. I am going to have to back my chair up. I am too close for the combing. I can see that already. Just trying to be close to the camera. All right, I may hit the, there we go. I have a cup of coffee here. I don't want it to get cold. My last cup of coffee for the day. Here we go. what I had said about the pink that I've been working on was it was pretty short stapled. This is longer. I don't have the proximity to the back tines to worry about like I was with the other one. I also have to figure out if it's going to transfer completely or not. Doing pretty good. But not really coming off anymore. Okay. There's a little. I get little short. I can see a shortcut in there. That's. I get that. All right. Let's go back. Now, can you see the? It is very relaxing. No, yeah. Can you see the squiggle right there? You know that the lock is. In fact, I can pull the lock apart. It's just the lock was so tiny that this setup wasn't quite close enough set together. You know, maybe I should have used the fine. Get it all open. Yeah, the question is whether I need to do it twice or not. I'm not going to. I'm gonna see how it pulls first right now. It's I have to be aware. I keep both of my shoulders moving instead of just one, kind of distribute the weight between the two shoulders so it's ergonomic that way. But I have to be careful to take breaks. And that's true of anything like, you know, any hand tool. I've only used 2 of the holes. I haven't used any of the bigger ones. I don't know if this is definitely pulling off in a longer strip than the other did. That's also the length. The staple length is longer. To be honest with you, I think this is probably about the perfect staple length for these combs. It's going to be pretty, 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 pretty when I spin it up. It is going to be so pretty. I have so much of it. I really don't know if I want to take the time to comb it all. You know, I will try a bat also. I'm going to make 2. In fact, I can put this, I think, into the bat. I'm going to make 2 nests of combed, and then I'll make 1 bat, which I'll split in half. And that will be sample skeins. I will try and see what I think. But, and you know, there's so much waste with the combing that it could be that I decide that maybe I want to make a lace scarf with it, and I'd have to figure out if I could figure out how much to make for that as a worsted with the top, you know, comb that much and all the waste and from the combing and the rest I would drum card. That's the most logical way, but man, it just sounds like it's going to take forever to do. Because there's so much. Because there's more than just this one bag. There's another whole complete bag of it. So how would I figure out, well, my test skein will be a 2-ply of the worsted. I guess I can figure out how much yardage I get from whatever weight that is. And how much yardage I need for a scarf. A lace scarf, probably, I'm talking narrow scarf, but a lace pattern. Maybe 250 yards. Maybe that's too much, I don't know. Have to look at some patterns. And then I have this pink, all of that top. I mean, I'm going to have a lot of possible worsted yarn. Can do a lot of with that. That pink is, it's really, really pretty. I really like it, and I'm not sure what exactly I want to wear that's that pink. I'm thinking a cowl, but that's, shoot, there's so much of this fiber. I can do a couple maybe. Might be time to start selling some yarn. I was talking to my daughter about that yesterday. You know, I said, I got to get rid of some of this yarn, Andrew. I've got to get rid of some of this yarn. You know, I can't be leaving this yarn. She says, Mom, you can leave the yarn. Don't worry about the yarn. She's sweet. But there's a lot of hand spun. Okay, let's pull this off. I love this color. I do love this color. I should experiment with the different holes here for the diz. I'm such a creature of habit. If it works, why change it if it works, right? But I can see combing. Oh, man, I've got Icelandic. Ooh-wee. I just had a brainstorm. I can comb Icelandic that I have. It's already washed and everything. And use this great big hole on the diz and make thell. And then you just take that thell. I mean, not thell. What am I trying to say? Lopi. You make lopi. And then you just take that, what you've pulled off, and run it through your spinning wheel with, just make a super low twist lopi. Oh man, I'm jazzed. That is going to definitely be a project. I love this. That is definitely going to be a project. Okay, I got to write that down or I will forget. There's my 2 worsted. I'll tell you, I keep losing my Maybe it's rolling off the table. Oh well, I don't need to brace it. I keep losing my peg. Oh, I see why. It matches the wood so much. It's right there against the other. That's why. Okay. All right, so I got to write this down. Spinning project. Well, okay, let me write down antique, mauve, ewe-lamb, 2 nest, combed. Worsted sample. And then spinning project. Icelandic.
What could make you happier than this ad being over?
Comb.
Selling your car at Echo Park Automotive.
I might wait until I get my aura fixed because it's going to need a big bobbin, and my aura is still unfortunately not working. All right. I am going to finish this pink. I don't know how you all creative types, oops, is this, yeah, how creative ideas come to you. I know that everybody has different processes for, but for creative times, and sometimes you're forced to try to be creative because the project is needed, or you've got a problem to solve, or whatever. But I have noticed in myself, I can do that. Obviously, I can do that. But what happens is I seem to have periods of time where if I have a creative idea, I will have 6 creative ideas. My brain seems to be in a mode of thinking up new things, as opposed to whatever my brain is doing the rest of the time, right? And I am in one of those creative periods. There's some stuff in my brain that's taking shape that I really can't talk about right now. And it's another creative endeavor. So it's just one of those, must be springtime, right? The seeds are planted and things are popping up. So the next thing I want to try combing, and I haven't decided whether it gets combed or carded, is a Shetland. I call it yin yang because half of the fleece was black and half was white, and then there was areas that you obviously get the colors mixed together. The black and white has a gray or whatever, and I have those washed and separated, and I wanted to see how it combs. So it's going to be what I do Tuesday morning. Okay. I may not do it on stream. Here's the thing. I am taking this little combing thing to my friend's house on Friday. I'm not going to leave it there. I will have it back, but once I take it down off this table, I may take the table off and go back to spinning. We'll see what my brain feels like doing. Your most creative times are when you don't have a way to record it. Oh yeah, it almost like you wake up from a dream, or yeah, right. I have I'm a note taker. I have notes everywhere, laying everywhere. I do try to keep them I mean, I always have a notebook for every year. I have a notebook, right? So some of it goes in there. Some of it, if they're just little individual notes, I keep them together, right? It's not like they're laying all over the house, but I am a note taker, note maker. Don't forget this kind of person.
How do you solve a monster-sized problem? With Miro.
So how do I decide whether I card or coma fiber? Depends on, first of all, the length of the staple. Too long, I can't card it. Second of all, it depends on how bad the fiber is. As far as shortcuts, neps, um, you know, unevenness of staple, not all the same length for most of the fleece. Um, Depends on that. Those are the factors. And I know what my drum carder likes. I know now, I'm learning. I can pretty much, I think, comb anything on this, but it has sweeter areas that it's going to like better. Um, yeah, that's how I decide. No, I don't need to write this down. I'll remember it's the biggest lie you tell yourself. I gave that up a long time ago. I blatantly admit to anybody that tells me something to remember, I won't remember it. If I don't write it down, I won't remember it. Oh, I've forgotten how much waste there is on this pink. I know there is. There's a whole bag full of it here. I gotta figure out what to do with. So I have been uh, starting up again on a whole bunch of TV or movie or okay, Amazon Prime Video and Stars. I have gone ahead and the 6 months of stars is only $45, $44, $43.98. I guess there's tax on that, so $44. 6 months of stars for that, I think's nice and reasonable. And one of the book series that I always liked was Outlander. So I am in the middle of season 3, watching that on Stars. I have it through December. I have to decide whether I'm gonna go on and renew it after December or not. That's something I can decide then. So I'm watching that. I tend to watch it in here. That's when I was combing. I tend to watch that, and then on Prime, which I also watch in here on this computer, and I can work on this fiber. I am watching Wheel of Time series. Okay. There's not. I don't know if there's many seasons. I'm on season 1, and I'm not real sure there's more. I'm not sure they actually made more than that. So that might be just like, I only get to. I think I've read all the books. I know I've read all the books. I haven't quite read all of the Outlander. I think I have one more to read, but I'm not too worried about it. And then the third thing is Amazon Prime. I'm watching the most recent season of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which, it's so funny. I love that show. It's really good. So it's like, I'll go watch one of the ones and one of the others or whatever. And I also am reading Ken Follett's Kingbridge series. I read the preliminary book. There was one that he wrote after the fact that actually was a starter, epilogue, or no, what do you call that? Prologue book for the series, right? So I went ahead and read that first. These came out late 80s, early 90s, I think. And I read that one. Now I'm reading the actual first one. It's a huge book. I just have my summer planned to the max here. And good thing, we are going to be in the hundreds this week. It's not going to be nice outside at all. I have appointments Monday and Wednesday this coming week. I will stream Tuesday and Thursday. Get my hair cut. Yay. It's time. Get my hair cut Wednesday. I always have associated summer with reading ever since being a kid. And I probably have reminisced about this before, but, I'm old. I'm allowed to do that. I would get books from the library, which I could walk to by myself, from, I don't know, maybe, I don't know how early I was allowed to do it, but in the summertime I'd go and get my books. And I had a weeping willow tree on the property where we lived, and I could sit in, you just this high up, right? Great big V that I could sit in. And that's where I sat and read. Now, why? Was I influenced by the book, Wind in the Willows? Because I love that book. I read it many times as a kid. Was it far enough from the house that I could say I didn't hear him calling because it was. I don't know why I picked that tree, but that was my reading tree. You started reading The Wheel of Time, but you haven't started the series yet. You haven't watched. You mean you haven't watched anything yet? Oh man, it took me years to read all the Wheel of Time books. I don't. It's kind of weird to see the series. You know, I really, after reading that many books with the characters in it, I really had a visual of what they look like. I don't hear my music. I am going to investigate this. Let me see what it's doing. It's playing. It just must be really soft. Okay.
Thanks to the Kroger app, you can get prices that are lower than low.
I don't have too many memories of what books I actually read as a kid. I just remember reading a lot. And the librarian sometimes raising her eyebrows, but I will say, I mean, they knew who I was because they knew my mom. My mom worked with she didn't work at the library, but she worked with the community organization that helps build a library and support it and that sort of thing. So they knew her. Didn't really discover science fiction until I went to college. Discovered C.S. Lewis when I went to college, which is a Christian writer, but the Narnia series, and you would think I would have read that as a kid, but I didn't. I didn't read it until it was required for a class that I took at college. What else was there? I can't remember reading series. You know, where like I do now. The big historic. I guess it's because I tend to read historical novels now. I really, really love historical novels. I'm not against a good, quick mystery read, but I think that's what I read a lot of, was mysteries. I was watching an episode of Outlander. They're in Britain, and they have a guest, and one of the daughter walks in, and the guest is watching Dark Shadows, and of course she says, "Really, Dark Shadows?" But I had to laugh because he goes, shh, such, such and such, and I'm like, I watched all of that as a teenager. The whole Dark Shadows, week after week after week. Of course, you can watch it now on Prime, and I watched it and it was like, oh my gosh, it seems so hokey. I still watched it for a while. I am really, really down to the short stuff here. And it's not wanting to load very well. And the only reason I am not drum carding this is because it just is so full of shortcuts and neps, and that all goes into the bat, right? I don't want it in the bat. I'm not wasting what comes off of here as waste. It's going into a bag for felting because it is such a pretty pink color. I will take it outside on the table and dishwater, soapy dishwater, and I may make bats to felt the bats, or I have bats already made that I am going to felt as a background. They're white, and I may do needle felting then onto it. This would be really pretty flowers. After this one, I'm going to take a little break, a little stretch break. Yeah, see, I got some neps in that one. Pulled through from the back. Getting a little better at going across though. On this. Got more off of that than I usually do. And yeah, it's got some nips in it. Okay. What I got left here? Quite a bit. Actually, 2 more combfuls, I think. I have to find a way to store this top. Keep it from getting too squished between now and Turtle Fleece. I have another project sitting here in front of me waiting. Oh, looky here. Okay, this is, I can work on this too. I'll comb this. All right, so this is the same Corridel as I've been drum carding. Actually, should I drum card this? Maybe I should. Looks like it needs picked open though. But I dyed them with black walnut shells, and I got 2 different colors, and this is redder. So, and it's a smaller amount. Maybe I'll comb that. What I was reaching for though is this that I've been spinning on the Nano that I have decided, it's silk, okay. I have decided I really don't like trying to spin it from this. It's so short and all that. And so I am not going to blend it with anything, but I'm going to get my blending board and make rologs out of it before I continue spinning any more of it. They should spin so much better. And maybe I'll do that on stream instead of combing on Tuesday. Although I got to do a couple of them anyway because that's what I'm going to take my Nano with me when I go visit my friend on Friday. All right, don't get sidetracked here. Let me finish this pink first. So we've been going for an hour. Yeah. Okay. Just a little bit more. I'm trying to get it divided in half here. Probably overloading a bit too much. I should maybe do it in thirds. What's left, but okay. Wow. Take some off and it all comes off. Oh, good grief. I'm kind of awkward with my left hand. It's nice that I can go back and forth. It's nice that I can guide it with my right hand and the tines don't poke me. It's really nice. But I do end up with most of my fiber on one side of the comb. Not sure exactly what I can do to fix that. Seems like just how it wants to do. All right. Hello, Mass Bandit. How are you feeling today? I'm sorry to hear that you've been sick. I hope you're doing better and resting. And I thank you for stopping by. It's been a while. I'm combing fiber. This is something new I bought a couple weeks ago for prepping the fiber before I spin it. It's called combing. I'm doing real good. Thank you for asking. I am doing good. I have been doing a lot of the fiber work the last couple weeks. Getting a lot done. Well, I see one reason I get it. I do tend to take a bite with just the one corner. So I think that is part of the reason I end up with most of the fiber up there in that corner. If I can maybe equalize that a little more. You are feeling better? Good. Taking lots of naps? Good. Develop a good bit of cough, but overall feeling better. I am so glad. It's never a good time to be sick. It's definitely never a good time. But I'm talking a regular cold now, and I know that's not what you have, but my goodness, I hate summer colds. There is nothing more miserable than wanting to be all bundled up and everything, and of course it's 90 degrees outside when you go outside. But once I stopped working, I'll tell you, I've always had really, really, really good immunity because I was always working in a hospital. I was always very much exposed. I've been blessed with good immunity and rarely got sick while I was working. But I haven't been sick. Boy, I better knock on this wood. I have not been sick since I retired. I've had pain, right? I've had surgeries, I've had pain, I've had, but I haven't had a cold. At that point, you've had colds that are worse. Okay. Well, like I was saying, you can be really miserable with colds. Oh. I am at the point of making a decision on whether I'm going to get the shingle injection or vaccination. My mom had shingles, but she had the vaccination. On the other hand, that was years ago, and they supposedly have improved it, according to my doctor anyway. So I have a called and I found out how much I'd have to pay and what the insurance pays and everything, but I haven't made my decision yet whether I want to get it or not. Anybody listening to my voice have recently had a shingles? Not shingles, but the vaccine. I don't mean the disease, I mean the vaccine. I've heard that you really don't have side effects, or you don't feel bad on it. Not sure it's true, but that's what I've heard. Let's see here. I need to move my mouse because it's highlighting. There we go. I can't read it. You don't get sick often. This is the first real illness in several years. I'm not even sure how long. Had slight fever, 101. That's something else, and I'll tell you about fever. Wednesday night, it was gone by Friday. Sore throat is, I heard that, I think that to me would be the worst. I had, your throat hurts, it's just miserable to try to do anything. Sore throat Wednesday night was gone yesterday. The extreme congestion, a little bit of cough. And you don't know anything about the shingle vaccine. Okay. When I went in recently, I'm trying to think what I went in for. We were talking, they took my temperature, and we were talking about what constitutes low grade fever. And I used to think it was 99 because I had been running a fever. I've been running a fever of 99. I had muscle pain. That's what I went in for. All this muscle pain. So, I was concerned that if I was running a low grade fever and had muscle pain, that maybe I had something going on other than getting old. So I went into the doctor and they said, no, you have to have above 100.5 to be a low grade. I said, really? When did that happen? Well, they changed that a while ago. I was like, and hubby, who is also extremely opinionated about this kind of stuff, he says, well, they can't change that. Yeah, right. Welcome to our world. Yeah, they can. So I found that out. I didn't realize 99 is kind of considered normal for some people, I guess. Right? You have to be over 100.5 to be considered low grade. At least according to my doctor's nurse. I didn't actually ask my doctor. We had other things to talk about. Like the fact that he was going to Scotland. God, doesn't that sound wonderful? I was thinking about traveling to Europe. Where would I go and that sort of thing. Every once in a while we look at the cruises that go over into Europe and stuff like that. And I got to realize that I didn't really I'm not interested in going into any of the Baltic states. I'm not really interested in going to England, although I would go. Finland, Sweden, some, but it's cold a lot, right? It's not, I don't know exactly, but that would be like my second choice. Spain, no. And then I hit Italy, and I was like, yes, Italy is my first choice. I would go to Italy. And it dawned on me, who likes, what does England have for food? What does Sweden have for food? What does Spain have for food? I don't like spicy food, okay? What does Italy have for food? Pasta! My favorite pizza. My favorite fresh fruit, fresh fish and vegetables. Oh, right out of the ocean. My favorite. So yeah, Italy is the one I want to go to, and I want to eat my way through Italy. Don't know if it'll ever happen, but that's the conclusion I came to. But I was thinking about him going to my doctor going to Scotland. I'm like, what are you going to eat? You know, I'm not real sure why they picked Scotland. Maybe it's a family thing. Maybe it's a history thing for him. Don't really know. He's got a German name. And that's just about all we need to know about my doctor. I'll tell you what. He's a good doctor. Okay, this is it on the pink. I have to confess, I'm going to love spinning this top, but it's not been a real joy to comb. And I'm not real happy with all the waste, but maybe I'll have fun felting it and make something cute. A bunch of pink elephants or something. Cute. Like I'm going to felt an elephant. Okay, Mass Banner looked it up. According to the internet, low grade is 98.6 to 100.4. See, they haven't even changed that. I don't know what she's talking about. Don't know what she's talking about. Yeah, safety during COVID. Right. Well, that's certainly how we were taught and brought up. Okay, what do I want to do here next? Besides finding a fan. Ooh, it's warm in here today. I got the air running, but my back is to it. That's part of it. When I sit the other way, I'm got the air blowing on me. So that's part of it. All right, this gets drum carded. This is ready to spin. So I don't have my blending board, so I guess it's this. I guess I'll comb this, which is what I have. See, I told you, I leave myself notes. Oh, you can't read it. It says comb. Okay. I have a little samples here of the red and the brown. They both were walnut dyes. They're both the same fiber. They just I used a pot where I took the walnut shell, the big green hull off of the walnuts, and made a pot of dye liquor out of that, right? So I had really brown. But when I boiled the black walnuts with their green outer shell on it, it came out red. It was pretty cool. Not red, red-brown. Red-brown. So anyway, this is it was a smaller pot, so there isn't as much red brown. Let's see how this combs, because I drum carded its counterpart. We'll see how it's also Cordell. It should comb like the pink, really. It seems about the same staple length. It might be the same Cordell. I'm not real sure. It was a big, big fleece that I bought one year up at Greencastle. I was going to put this away and do some spinning, but that's all right. I'd like to get this done also. And I think it's going to be about 4 comb fulls. And then I have to decide about the waist. This is going to be a little harder to comb. It's not picked open. I may have to take time and pick it open. Hi, HG. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. You have combs, but I'm not familiar with the nuances. And Mass Bandit says needs. I'm far away. I can't read without my glasses. Needs doing. You have it set up night as well. Get it done. Needs doing. Yeah, you have it set up. Might as well get it done. Need a little punctuation in there. Got it though. HD, this is new to me. I don't know if you saw my last stream, but that was the first I had used it because I just got this maybe 2 weeks ago at a fiber fair. Lady that makes it has a YouTube channel under Pixie Claws, which is why I put Pixie Claws underneath there, so that if you're interested, I'm not going to try and link it, but if you're interested, you can go take a look at her YouTube. She talks all about the system. It's in a cedar box here, and you can put it all in the box and close the box up, and it stores or travels or whatever. It's really nice. There are 3 combs, a coarse, medium, and fine. I have this as the medium. I am combing with the coarse. I'm not sure if maybe I should be combing with the fine, but this is, I'm going to see after I try pulling it off. But the beauty is you leave one hooked up here. It's lashed in with a dowel to hold it in place, and then you just go back and forth from one comb to the other. So there is no switching of reattaching a comb and switching and all that. You just go back and forth. And that's the part that I think is the best part of the design. You lost your punctuation when the internet came along. Like that. That needs to be on a t-shirt. Yeah. All right, so there's going to be a lot of waste, and unfortunately, again, I don't think it's worth carding. You really can't see it, but it's, see all that short stuff? That's not worth carding. Unfortunately. I'm going to comb it again though, because there's a lot of nips in here still. Now, I did do bats of the brown, and part of it is I took the time to pick it open, and part of it is it just really is probably the better part of the fleece, you know, the shoulder and stuff like that. Okay, this is transferring a lot better than the other did though, even though there's a lot of waste. Now let's see how it pulls off. Little short staple, doesn't want to quite come together as a top. Here we go. Now it is a little better. Oops, that's junk. So I'm going to go visit my good spinning knitting buddy Friday while hubby does some work on his family home, because they're reasonably close. I mean, same city to begin with. And I'm going to take this with me so she can see it and play with it. Well, now I have brown for the stems. If I make roses, I need green. I need to find some green to comb and have waste, so I can use that for the needle folding. Gonna do a frozen pizza tonight for supper. I'm in the mood for pizza. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. I usually I usually sneeze multiple times. Yep. All right, I will admit, this is really ought to be outside. It's a little dustier than it ought to be in, or I should be wearing a mask or something, but I'm not doing that on stream. And that's just dust going up my nose. Another way to handle this kind of uncooperative short staple fiber is to, pick it open and do a bat, but then comb the top. Comb the bat so that you get top. A lot of extra work makes beautiful fiber, right? Deals with all the bad stuff in it, which is what I'm doing here. I think you might have a little less waste if you did do the bat. I am going to try something with this. I'm going to put that back on. In other words, reload it a little more open. I would say I'm glad I drum carded the rest of this fiber. I don't believe this is really worth the effort of combing. There's not enough here to, I'm not going to drum card a bat out of, that would be one bat, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and comb it, but I'm glad there's not more of this. Besides, I am trying to keep the red color separate from the brown color. I plan to use this red color not with the brown color. I plan to use it when I do a color work project. Oh, speaking of which, where did I see on Ravelry? No. Really cute color work hat. Where was that? I think it was the Woolery website. Let me check that out real quick. I loved the pattern. No, that's not where it was. Where did I see that? Pretty sure I put it in my Ravelry. I can do it that way. Oh, wait, I want my notebook. Oh, I know what I put it in Knit Companion. Never mind. I don't have Knit Companion on here. Well, darn. I sure can't remember where that was, though. Maybe it'll come to me. Maybe I'll remember. Shetland Woolly Cat. Thank you, HG. You read my mind. You got it. That was it. Fingering weight yarn, something like 5 or 6 colors. Can we get that? Let me see if I can get that up as a link. Thank you. You are right. There it is. You did like it too? Yeah. There you go. It's free. I loved all the different colors they did it in, right? Of course, they're featuring all their yarns. They're absolutely featuring all their yarns, but still. The color combinations, some of them, the pastels, I just adored the pastels. But that kind of thing is so good for hand spun if you can get a nice worsted yarn, DK weight, in all your different colors and everything. That's a perfect pattern for that. You downloaded the pattern. Very cool hat. Punctuated included. Thank you. Um, yeah, it is. I don't know. I wonder if it runs small in the fact that it has all that color work and how the floats are and whether getting a fit might be it's something you have to think about and plan for. Like there might be a prototype that you end up making that gets donated to a kid or I doubt very much you're going to get one that's too big. I would imagine you're going to get one that's kind of tight and small so you get your gauge right. Gauge on patterns 30 stitches and 34 rows to 10 centimeters. That's about 4 inches, isn't it? Or is that 2? Yeah. Like I said, I think there's gonna have to be an experimental one. I have lots of Shetland, but most of it is natural color. And part of what's so pretty about that yarn is all the pretty colors. Um, but I always, when I was buying Shetlands, wanted to get the grays and the browns and the natural colors. So Shetland is nice to spin because it doesn't do the puffing up that merino and blueface or blueface Lister has Rambouillet. That's what I'm trying to think of. Those two they're merino based. Rambouillet is too, and it'll puff up, right? And you think you have a nice worsted weight, and you still end up with pretty high reps per inch. Not worsted weight, but DK weight. Hate to leave. Oh, that's all right, Mass Bandit. I am so glad to see you, and I'm glad to hear you're better. Take a nap. Yep, you take care. I'll catch you when I can. And thanks for stopping by. All right. This is going. Oh, no, wait. I don't want to. I want to pull. I don't want to. I don't know. It almost acts like I need to comb it again, but did it twice. Gonna try and see if I can stay up tonight and catch Snoring Cat. I haven't been able to catch one of her streams for a long time. Haven't been able to stay awake. Part of it is get up 6:30 in the morning most of the time. It's gonna work out perfect. I'm gonna finish this up and it'll be my 2 hours. I feel so productive lately on stream. Sometimes when I just spin, or ply, even just plying, I don't feel very productive. There goes hubby with the mower. Poor man. That's all he does in the summer. I have offered to mow at this point in time. I think he wants to mow because he can feel like he's getting something done and he's not in the mood to work on the repairs that the house needs. I think he's working himself up to that. So, since I recently had that muscle pain, he's being nice. He's like, oh, I'll take care of it. You don't need to mow right now. He might be right, but it is usually something where if I can, if I'm not in the midst of recovering from a knee surgery or whatever, from surgery, I'll mow so he can, because I can't do the house repairs. He's got to do that. Okay.
When your travel companion has 4 legs, it matters where you stay.
Gosh. So I'm back to making troll hair here. Whenever I get a natural color, I always think of those troll dolls. And of course, they always had hot orange and that kind of stuff. But yep. I would imagine you can hear the mower. He is right outside under my window. Probably thinks I'm done because it's close to that time anyway. It's my notes for this Corridel. Oops. I will say I'm very, very glad I've been meticulous about putting notes in my bags of fiber. Yes, Knitter, you're having so much fun watching me comb and the way you pull it off. Thank you for showing us. Oh, you're welcome. It's a very relaxing. It's a little hard on your shoulders, kind of. I mean, it's physical, but it's satisfying, right? Kind of like taking a really nice piece of linen and getting a really good ironing job on it. But you get the final product is just so delicious and nice and everything. And if you're patient, you won't get a whole bunch, but you can turn some really not so nice fiber into something that's very nice to spin. You just don't get all of it, because what's not so nice is, of course, what you don't really want in there. But I have reached my limit for today. I have one more little comb fold to do. Um, and when I stop streaming and get me a good glass of ice water, I am going to do some knitting. I have mindless knitting that I can work on and watch TV. I love mindless knitting. Just knit one side, purl the next side. I'm making a blanket that could be a baby blanket for a little girl. It could be a lap blanket, a pretty lap blanket for a lady, because it's white and it has the yarn automatically makes roses. I'll try and remember to bring that Tuesday with me and show it on stream, because there's enough there now that you can see the pattern. So Mary Maxim yarn, so wasn't expensive. And I wanted to see how the yarn would knit up. I bought it because I wanted to see how the yarn would knit up. Had no, I don't have a granddaughter. I have no plans for, I don't know of anybody that's having a baby. I have no plans for it unless I keep it or eventually find somebody that I think is a good donation to. I am learning if I don't pack so much on the comb, it does pull off better. It doesn't fight me as much. This is it on the walnut dyed reddish brown. Looks like I'm gonna have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's good. I'm glad I'm getting an even number, even though it may not come out if I want to do a 2-ply. This feels very much like Shetland. It's a Corriedale, but it's not. It's on the rougher end of it. It should spin up pretty nice, worsted. And leave very much for the final one here. May not get much off of it. Okay. Yeah, I'm hitting close to the tines here because there's not much fiber on here. I didn't put enough on. Not gonna have a lot to pull off. Oh, I hope I can even get it to pull off. It's gonna be a tiny, tiny, tiny little nest. Hummingbird size nest. All right, yeah, that wasn't much. So I really have 7.5, unfortunately. I'll have to weigh that out and split it up that way. Woo-wee, here's another towel to be shook. Lots of stuff on it. I am wondering if I should try to rate anybody. Let's see. Well, thank you for stopping by, everybody. And I really appreciate all the chat. Thank you. It's just so much nicer when there's people to talk to. I enjoy that a lot. And yeah, my face is like, the camera is just like right here. So my face is right there. Oh, I am not going to bother with. Let's see. I'm going to look to see who's on Twitch. I doubt there's anybody today. I'll have to do that Tuesday. Okay, I haven't decided yet whether it's Tuesday morning or Tuesday evening. There's a part of me that wants to do evening both Tuesday and Thursday.
Started out
So
resources to build a custom editor. I think There's a lot of opportunities
Let's see
to make
here.
improvements to the editing experience for RTS. We are also working on the infrastructure
Nope.
for people to be able to share their mods with each other. So it's really core to us as a team to enable modding.
Okay, let's go to Woolly Dev 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 Dev.
My favorite
I don't know if it's Dev Dev or Dev Dev. Oh, she's not spinning anymore. She's winding off. She's done spinning. Boy, those are pretty. All right. Get rid of the music. There's no E in Woolly. And is it this? Is it this? Yeah. Good, that's going to work. Let me get my sound turned up so I can hear.
Well, the yarn hasn't broken yet.
And I'm going to say I do. I'll post on Discord when I get on Tuesday. I got to talk to hubby about
So because the yarn
what
is
we want to
really
do.
thin,
And yeah, she's talking. So let's go raid. Thanks, everybody. See you later. Happy spinning.
so it does tend to break during this stage. Pretty commonly, but it's nice that it does. I think block spinning is honestly part of why it isn't breaking very much. Yarn spinners, Tails, hello, welcome.